Kartikam. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Chetam Surato Pangur Mama Manda Matirgati Matsarvasva Padambojau Radha Matana Mohanau Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Krishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Eva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Mukam karoti vachalam pangum langaite girim yat kripatamaham vande paramananda madhavam Shri Chaitanya Mishwaram Shri Gurum Deenatarinam. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. I'd like to heartily welcome everybody to today morning's daily divine discussion, Srimad Bhagavatam. So where today we are going to be discussing again, we have two small purports. We're going to club them. We're going to discuss from the first canto, second chapter, shloka number 32 and 33. That's going to be a subject matter of discussion today. Requesting for whom it's possible to kindly turn on the videos so that I feel enthusiastic to serve. It's a humble request. Okay. So yesterday we understood why is Krishna called as Vasudev. Because he enters into every single particle. Yes, he enters into everything and he resides everywhere. Vasa means to reside, and one who resides everywhere is Vasudev. And in the shloka number 32, there is an analogy. Just for example, so analogy as to how Vasudev resides everywhere. How can we understand this? Is there any other similar phenomena we observe in this material world? Yes, let's find out. Yatahi avahito vahanir darushveka swayonishu naneva bhati vishvatma bhuteshu cha tatha puman. You'll always find these two words, yatha, tatha. So this means just like, in the similarly, just like so and so, similarly, so and so. So yatha and tatha will always come together. Just like, so and so, similarly. He avahitaha vahanir. Avahitaha, invested or surcharged. What? Fire. Vani is fire. Where is fire staying? Darshu. Jagannath is called as Daruk Brahma because the Supreme Lord, the Supreme Personal has appeared in the form of sacred wood. So he's called as Daru Brahma. So this Daru refers to wood. Now one may ask, Prabhu, where is fire in wood? Wood doesn't have fire. Wood is wood. Where is fire? But you rub two pieces of wood, what happens? Immediately there is a blaze of fire. Yes, fire is sparked up. The moment you rub the wood, fire sparks. So the point is, yes, there is fire within the wood, but it is invisible. But when activated, there is fire. Fire comes. Similarly, right? Tatha, Puman, the Supreme Person, Bhati, he illuminates, just like fire illuminates, this person illuminates Naneva Bhuteshu. The different kinds of living entities, Bhuteshu, Naneva Bhuteshu, as Vishwatma. Vishwatma means Paramatma. Atab Vishveshwa Vishwatman, Vishwamurti Swakeshu me. So even Kunti Maharani says, Krishna, you are Vishwatma. Even Gopi says, Nakalu Gopika Nandano Bhavan Akila Dehi Nam Antaratmadrik. Krishna, you are Paramatma. Aren't you Paramatma? like that. So even they address Krishna as Vishwatma. Swayonishu, Ekaswayonishu, he is the cause of all manifestations. So just like fire is contained within the wood, Paramatma is contained within all beings. Vasudeva is there in every living being. Translation and purport. By His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The Lord as Super Soul pervades all things, just as fire permeates wood, and so he appears to be of many varieties, though he is the absolute one without a second. Purport. Lord Vasudeva, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, by one of his plenary parts expands himself all over the material world. And his existence can be perceived even within the atomic energy. Yeah. The very reason for which there is matter, antimatter, proton, neutron, electron, all these things. Everything is active. In atomic level, there is an activity. John Dalton is the person who proposed the model of atom. Yes, he is the one who proposed. So this is how atom looks like. So even the atom, there are movements. The electrons are rotating. There's nucleus. Everything is moving, right from macroscopic to microscopic. Macroscopic is big. Planets are revolving and rotating. And if you look at the atomic level, yes, there are electrons which are rotating. So this very action, who is the person who is activating? Have you seen decoration lights? Decoration lights. You put on, when you switch on, then the decorating lights turn on. So the moment you see decorating lights are turned on and it's going on, we understand and we realize this thoroughly that, okay, there is somebody staying there. There is some presence of life there. So that very moment shows that, okay, there is life. Some person has turned it on. Some person has put it. We understand this. Similarly, it becomes very clear for all of us that Krishna is the one who has activated everything atomically. Sun is moving by Surya Stapati Madbhayat. Krishna is activated on a macroscopic level, on the big level in the sky. The moon's changing its different phases because it's activated. Something is operating. Right? Planets are revolving. Activated. Everything is activated. Previously, there used to be watches where you need to key the watches. It's called Leibniz's clock mechanism. Leibniz in 1600s, a great mathematician. Yes, he's the one. Kind of, you can call him the father of calculus. He's the one who designed this clock mechanism. So you have to key. There's no battery. You have to key the watch every day. And then that particular, when you key it, it automatically operates. So people are today's Manda Sumanda Matayo, Kaliyug, people are so very lazy. They don't want to key also. That's why they have battery. So, but it's Krishna who keys everything. So on atomic level and on macroscopic level, microscopic, macroscopic, everywhere he has keyed everything. That's why there are motion. There's motion everywhere. There's movement. Yes. So everywhere we can perceive the manifestation of Paramatma. Heartbeat. What is the cause of heartbeat? Nobody knows this. Yes. It's Paramatma because of whom the heart is beating. Right? There are 4 chambers in the heart. Right? And there is blood that comes in, goes out, etc. Pumping of blood. The pumping action is activated by Paramatma. So he keys it. He keys how much? As per the karma, you deserve to stay in this body. So for some people, he keys till, okay, some 60 years. That's all. After that, the key is gone. Over. Activation is finished. Some people 75, some 85, some 100. So it's Paramatma has keyed everything. As from wood, fire can be manifested, or as butter can be churned out of milk. From wood, fire can be manifested, or as butter can be churned out of milk. So also the presence of Lord as Paramatma can be felt by the process of legitimate chanting and hearing of the transcendental topics, especially treated in Vedic literatures like Upanishads, Vedanta. Yes. So even if you see normally fire sticks, you have to bring together and rub. When you rub the sticks, fire is produced. Right? Fire is produced. And similarly, when you are kind of butter, you have to churn the butter, churn the milk. Churning, butter comes out. Similarly, how to manifest this Paramatma? So as such, butter is there in milk, but it's not visible. It has to be churned. Some process is there to get it out. Similarly, the process to experience the Paramatma is called as Shravanam and Kirtanam, the beginning two limbs of Navvida Bhakti. That's when we start realizing the Paramatma, God realization. Srimad Bhagavatam is the bona fide explanation of these Vedic literatures. The Lord can be realized through the oral reception of the transcendental message, and that is the only way to experience the transcendental subject. Yes, the only way we can experience spiritual subject matters is by Shravanam. Hearing. That's how Lord is realized. And even Krishna says this in the Bhagavad Gita, 7th chapter, first verse. Maya saktamana partha yogam yunjanmada ashreya asamshaya samagram mam yata jnasasi tachrunu. How yata jnasasi? How do you know him? Tachrunu, by hearing the subject matter. And that's the only way. There is no other way. You cannot see, have darshan of Lord and realize. That is why you see, you don't find people becoming devotees by seeing the Lord. They come to temple, see the Lord. No, in course of seeing the Lord, by chance or by will of providence, they sit down and hear the Bhagavatam class. Two words get into their ears. Then the bhakti is activated. Just go see the temple, they just pray, okay, please give us something. Give me this job, give me this lady, give me this, I want something. Yeah, people ask and they go, that's it. There is no devotion, there is no bhakti that's there. They don't become devotees. It's the devotees, hearing from devotees that makes a person devotee, not darshan of lordships. That's why people may stand. There are people who go to Tirupati Balaji. They kind of climb up days together, standing in the line, and they come back and continue the sense gratification plan. There is no surrender. There is even giving up of air, but there is no surrender coming. The kirtan, because in Kali Yuga, Hare Kalau, Nastyeva Gatiranyata. There is no other way than chanting of holy name, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Without this, there is no other way. There is no other way. So, we have to understand this, that it is only the Shravan that activates the Kirtan, and when we regularly hear the Kirtan, we are going to realize Paramatma in the heart. A fire is kindled from wood by another fire. The divine consciousness of a man can be kindled by another divine grace. Yes. So we have our wood, and there is another one. There's a lower Arani stick, there's a upper Arani stick. So like this, there's a northern Arani, southern Arani. So this Arani will activate the southern Arani, and when that activates, then there is fire. So that activator Agni is Guru. He is that wood. And how does he activate? By proper spiritual message injected through receptive ear. Yes. So our ear has to be what ear? Receptive ear. We are ready to listen. And Guru's message is what? Proper message in Guru Parampara. That's the science. That's how Paramatma is activated. Therefore, one is required to approach the proper spiritual master with receptive ears only. That's it. We should be having this willingness to listen. There is no other qualification. Just I want to listen. And thus divine existence is gradually realized. Yeah, it's not that you listen and immediately it pops up. No, it takes time. But we should have that patience. So have utsahad nischayat dhairya. Utsahad is enthusiasm to listen. Nishchayad is having firm conviction that through this process, I will realize God. And let it take the time, patience. Dhairya. This is the attitude in devotional service, in both hearing and chanting. Rupa Goswami mentions this should be the attitude. Utsahat, Nischayat, Dhairya. The difference between animality and humanity lies in this process only. Human being can hear properly, whereas animal cannot. Thank you so much. So one is not hearing properly. What is happening? That is animalistic propensity. The animal propensities are too much, which means we are not having, or rather we are contaminated with unnecessary overeating, oversleeping, over mating, over defending. This is not pure. Prabhupada writes this in another purport. Till the time one's eating, mating, sleeping, defending is pure, one will not be able to hear Bhagavatam with rapt attention. That's not possible. And who does eating, mating, sleeping, defending? Only animal. Human beings also do it, but they do it in regulated fashion. That's not their goal. Their goal is to hear Bhagavatam. So human beings we have that facility to hear the message and realize it. So if we are not using this, bile baro utkrama vikramanye, bile batoru krama vikramanye, na srinvata yasya kara pute narasya. So those holes which do not hear Srimad Bhagavatam, they are compared to the houses of snakes. Where do snakes say? Bile. Bile bato uru vikramanye, na srinvata karna pute narasya. If those ears who don't listen to the message of Bhagavatam are nothing but houses of snakes, Sarpabila. That's what Bhagavatam says. So we have to decide. We want to make our ears as Yajna Kunda, where the transcendental sound vibration is given as Ahuti, the offering, oblation, Brahmarpanam, Brahmahavir, Brahmagno, Brahmanahutam, Brahmaivatena Gantavyam, Brahma Karma Samadhi. Or we want to make our ears as the holes of snakes, snake holes. That's your choice. Since it was a small purport, we'll take one more. Asau gunamayairbhavairbhukta sukshmendriyatmabhihi swa nirmiteshu nirvishto bhungte bhuteshu tadgunan. So this particular shloka indicates that super soul enters into bodies and created beings who are influenced by the modes of material nature and causes them to enjoy the effects of the modes by subtle mind. It's a very, in the sense, slightly complicated it may appear. Super soul enters into bodies of the created beings. See? Asau, that personality, super soul, Nirvishto, he has entered. Nirvishta is to enter. What he has entered? He has entered Swa Nirmiteshu. The Jivas themselves have created a body through their karmas. Yes. And not only gross body, Bhuta Sukshmendri Atmabhihi. They have created the living entities, Atmabhihi, have created the subtle body also. Gross subtle body, everything is created. And what do? Gunamayir Bhavir. They have created these bodies under the modes of nature. Sattvagun, they create demigod body. Rajogun, human body. Tamogun, animal body. Sattva, Rajas. This is how they create these bodies. And what do? Bhunkte bhuteshu tadguna. And what is Paramatma doing? Bhunkte is to enjoy. Enjoy what? In that particular nature. So as such, Paramatma is the person who causes them to enjoy the effects. So we are able to enjoy while staying even in this body. Anything. Shabda, Rasa, Rupa, Gandha, Sparsha. Our sight, sound, smell, taste, and touch. We are able to enjoy all these aspects. Actually, the enjoyment is there in the mind. But who is causing them? So any kind of enjoyment is actually caused by Paramatma. It is super soul. If super soul is not there, we cannot even enjoy anything. Super soul is present. He is very much present in the objects, sense objects. And super soul is also present in the ability for us to connecting the sense and the mind. As such, the enjoyment is only in the mind. The type of mentality we have, we'll enjoy. A pig will never enjoy Mahaprasad Bhoga. You give nice burfi, cakes, he will not enjoy. He'll say, what is this nonsense? Because that's not his mentality. His subtle body is different. The mentality of pig is pig will enjoy a plate of stool. Oh, he'll say that is very tasty. There is nothing more tasty than this item. Why? Because that's the subtle body has developed, the mentality based on modes of nature. And who gives this mentality? And who causes this? It's Paramatma. Let's see this purport. There are 8.4 million species of living beings, beginning from the highest intellectual being Brahma down to the insignificant ant, and all of them are enjoying the material world according to the desires of subtle mind and gross body. I think I already told this. Pigs' enjoyment, dogs' enjoyment. Yes. Everybody has come here to be a Purusha. Purusha is not enjoyer. Purusha is imitator enjoyer. He's an imitator. Who is the real enjoyer? The real enjoyer is Purushottam, who is Krishna. What is they doing? They are only imitating the real enjoyer through gross and subtle body. The gross material body is based on the conditions of subtle mind, and the senses are created according to the desire of living being. I told you this already. But subtle mind's conditions. Based on that, the gross body is there. Pig, pig, dog, etc. All varieties. Devata, human being. Devata's enjoyment standard is different altogether. They enjoy only food cooked in ghee. They enjoy sex life only with apsaras. So they have a high standard. So according to desire of the being, a particular subtle body is created. Based on that, the gross body is created. So desires are really powerful. So we should be very careful in what we are desiring. The Lord as Paramatma helps the living being to get material happiness because the living being is helpless in all respects in obtaining what it desires. Correct. Because living entity is trapped. You know, mummy, not mother. Egyptian. So if you see, this is the person, and the person is mummified. And then he's put inside a box. This is our situation. That box is gross body. And this particular mummification is subtle body. So what can this person do? He can't do anything. He's helpless. So we are also helpless like this. So we are helpless. So who helps? Okay, Paramatma says, don't worry, I'll help. You want sense gratification? I'll help. I'll tell Prakriti. So based on your deserving, I'll fulfill your desires. The deserving factor is karma factor. He proposes and the Lord disposes. In another sense, the living beings are parts and parcels of the Lord. They are therefore one with the Lord. In the Bhagavad Gita, the living beings in all varieties of bodies have been claimed by the Lord as his sons. Yes. We are all his children. Aham bija pradapita. So, so like a mother, like parents, they take care of the child. All need. Child is helpless, right? Child is totally helpless. Is not able to do anything. It's the parents who give child the food, the clothes, and everything. So our situation is exactly like the child, helplessness. But it's Krishna who takes care of us, providing us everything. The suffering and enjoyments of the sons are indirectly suffering and enjoyments of the father. Still, the father is not in any way affected directly by the suffering and enjoyment of the son. He is so kind that he constantly remains with the living entity as Paramatma and always tries to convert the living being towards real happiness. Okay. You see, especially the 15th chapter. The 15th chapter mentions about the various things that the Paramatma does for us. Purushottam Yoga, right? This is about the Paramatma. As such, Paramatma is, Krishna is having anxiety. He has this anxiety because we are suffering. A child suffers, parents are not directly affected, but still they also suffer because they are not happy the child is suffering. Suppose child has a particular disease. Who is suffering? Actually, the child is suffering. The disease is suffered by child, but even parents are in pain because, oh, our child is suffering. Similarly, the Paramatma also suffers as in like he's sad. He doesn't suffer karmic reaction, but he's pained to see the living entity trapped in this material world and suffering. But he's merciful. He says, okay, all right, I'll be with you constantly. And he tries his level best. Okay. And that's why the greatest contribution given by Paramatma is what? Vedischa sarve rahamiva vidyo, the transcendental knowledge. Through the scriptures, through Guru, he gives this knowledge. Vedanta kritveda videva chaham. And that way, he's telling the living entities to turn towards the real happiness. Everything else is fake. It is real happiness. Okay. All right. Any questions? Any thoughts? Hare Krishna. Okay.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, thank you for this class. I'm still trying to wrap my head around everything that you've said. But I wanted to ask you, the Lord is in our heart. He fulfills our desires, and He also knows how to guide us in the right direction. He's with us every lifetime. But why is it that we're not listening to the Lord? Like a small child, we do listen to our parents at some point. When our parents are giving us directions, we live our life. Maybe in the beginning we'll be rebellious, but we do listen to our parents. But why is it that we're not listening to the Lord? Why are we, even when we're studying Bhakti, we easily get swayed by Maya again and again? Why is that? And the Lord is with us. So I'm like, that's something that I'm still trying to comprehend.
That's because the child, as children, we don't know that we are parents. We think Maya is our mother. So first of all, there's lack of knowledge. We do not know that Paramatma is there. There is a person called Paramatma. Even you get to know, we are yet to have that conviction. And that conviction and that realization comes when we simply listen. But when we are listening, again, we are not attentive. When we are attentive, we are not faithful. Yes. Agnyascha ashraddhanasya samshayatma vinashyati. We are sometimes agnya, ignorant. Ashraddhanasya. We don't have sufficient faith. And samshayatma, we keep doubting everything. Vinashyati. These three types of people are destroyed. Destroyed means they don't get the realization. So we fall into these three categories. So that's why there is mercy of spiritual master, which will help us to rise above this. It is 4.40 Bhagavad Gita. Agnyascha ashraddhanasya samshayatma vinashyati. We don't have to, we should not be these three types. So that's our problem. These three things. So that is why we need training in sadhana bhakti. We get trained under Guru. And the spiritual master removes that ignorance. That's the first thing he does. Om ajnana timirandasya. Jnananjana Shalakya. Chakshurunmilitam. He opens the eyes. Once that particular tape of ignorance is removed, he is able to see things. Right? And eventually he gets realization. Okay.
Could I ask a second question if there's no other questions?
There is question by Sachidanand Prabhu.
Okay.
Yes, Sachidanand Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
It is as it seems that if we do not chant attentively, it is aparad.
Mm-hmm.
Then how to chant? It is going to waste. As we are not chanting attentively, perhaps we do, chant 25% to 30% attentively.
It's a big thing. If you're able to chant 25% attentively, it's big achievement. Inattentive chanting is having various categories. If you look at Harinam Chintamani, I'll show you. Inattention is counted as one of the aparadas. It is. But what are the types of inattention? Indifference and no attention. Indifference. We are not bothered. That is very bad. Laziness. We don't want to chant. We don't want to finish our rounds. We leave our round in between. Distraction. We just leave the mala and go and do something else. These are the three things. And usually indifference is the cause. Right? And laziness and distraction are the effects. But what we are supposed to do? First of all, you are supposed to get good fortune. That comes when we serve great souls. By good fortune, after getting faith. When you hear from them, we have faith. Then we take up the holy name. And once we've taken up the holy name, we have to chant regularly and carefully. If we do these two things, then there will be attraction for the name. And one has to be very careful. And that's what happens when we come in presence of great souls. We come in presence of Mahats, Mahatmas. We definitely will chant very attentively. We are forced. In fact, they'll keep emphasizing. So indifference comes because of too much attachment to material things. But how to give up this kind of indifference? Association. Who are properly chanting, sitting in their association, we will improve. Laziness. Laziness means doesn't want to stop before finishing the round. That is laziness. I told you. What is the remedy? Remedy is we should associate with devotees or avyartha kalatvam. Again, the key is association only, again and again. Avyartha kalatvam means they don't even waste a moment. Then distraction. Distraction, usually we are giving up japa to go to opposite sex, wealth, material success, position, cheating, all these things. Yes, these are all different types. So what is the solution? Solution is Ekadashi and such appearance days, put aside everything, even food. Stop thinking of even eating and drinking water. Just sit and chant day and night. At least full day we have to chant in association of devotees. So these are the practical tips given to go above this kind of inattentiveness. Yes.
Hare Krishna, Dandot Pranam. See, we have been listening to various scriptures and various lectures and from various people, acharyas and various devotees. And we are getting knowledge and we are trying to implement it on our day-to-day life. But in spite of doing that, why do we slip regularly? There is always, we try to do it for some days and then we slip off from those. and then we get totally away from what we are supposed to do. Why does that happen? And it happens very frequently. You slip, you go back again, then you again slip, you go back again. So why does that happen regularly? And what should we do to avoid that? Hare Krishna.
I'll just give me half a I'm just getting the reference for 6. Nice question. If I get that 6 terms, I'll explain. So there are 6 types of anishtita bhajana kriya. I'll just I'm going to paste it in the notes and then explain. Yeah. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram. So Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, he explains that when we do bhajan, because of the presence of anarthas, the root causes anarthas, we are not able to do proper Shravan and Kirtan. So it starts with first, these are all the sequences. Utsahamai. There is enthusiasm to hear, there is enthusiasm to chant also, but there is no depth. One may hear, Prabhu, today I heard 7 lectures. Or Prabhu, today I chanted 108 rounds. But that's only one day match. So this is how it begins. Right? And usually we are in we in the beginning stages of bhakti, we are here. But as one proceeds ahead, the challenge will come in such a way one does practice, but there is a fluctuation. Sometimes we are intense, sometimes we are weak. Yes, sometimes we are very serious, we are lacking steadiness. That's called ghana, tarala. Ghana means you are in the sky, tarala means you're on the ground. Then there is vyuda vikalpa. Vyuda vikalpa means we are yet to confuse. Okay, which guru to hear, which acharya to hear right now. I am not able to understand which ashram to choose. Yes, which book to read. So one spends so much time on that. Indecisive speculation, vyuda vikalpa. This phase comes. Then Vishaya Sangra. Yeah, now here, that devotee now is fighting with his anarthas. And many times there's a tug of war and he loses. Sometimes he wins, he loses. This also comes. And next is inability to follow vows. Niyamakshama. Today I will chant 64 rounds with Ekadashi. Is not able to fight. Today I will hear this entire series of, okay, Kartik Purnima is coming, I will hear Damodar Leela. Doesn't happen. He is not able to start also. Niyamakshama. He is unable to follow his vows. And final is, he enjoys waves of bhakti. He becomes distracted to the external benefit. You get followers, you get fame, you get comfort. So these are some taranga means waves. Yes, external waves. He gets distracted and later on he realizes, no, I shouldn't have done this. So yes, as we proceed through this is Anishtita Bhajana Kriya. So we all have to grow through this particular process till the time we come to the platform of Nishtita Bhajana Kriya, that is Nishtha. So these phases will definitely come. They show the presence of anarthas. Why it is happening? Because anarthas are there. That's the indication. So what is there in our hands? What is there in our hands is as such, let's try our level best that externally we are not exercising the anarthas. Grossly 4 legs. Subtly social media, outside food, and gossip. So this is a challenge. If we do this, we stop this. Externally, we should not be exercising the anarthas. This effort has to be put from the sadhaka if one wants to cross this particular state. Then one comes to nishtha. Nishtha is a place where you are chanting with a stable mind, but still, even in mind, there are mental distractions. And when one gives up these mental distractions also, then one goes to the platform of the real taste, ruchi. So yes, we've heard, we hear, we have heard many acharyas, we hear so many things at times, but still that kind of progress is not there. Majorly, reason is this: either we are lacking here, or number 2, we are lacking the utsaha. Utsaha mai is bad, but utsaha is required. You have to have enthusiasm to continue. This is flower pot enthusiasm, but it's over. But our enthusiasm should not be flower pot. It should be ongoing. Utsahat, nischayat, going through this, and patience. That's the key. Patient that, okay, it will happen. We will go through this and then fix our mind in Shravan Kirtan. So yes, we are all in work in progress. It takes time. But the moment this is happening, we have to realize there are anarthas because of which this is happening. That is why anishtha. Any kind of anishtha is presence of A for anarthas. You remove the A for anarthas, what remains is nishtha. So we have to keep going and ensure we don't do this. We have to eliminate this. This is in our hands. Okay. We'll pause here and all questions we will take later now. There's a quick desire को कैसे त्यागे? Desire को त्यागना नहीं है. Desire को सही करना. You have to have spiritual. You have to desire spiritually. And this kind of desire you'll get when you associate with the right type of people. The saintly devotees. You'll desire properly. This book, what I mentioned, these things is from Madhurya Kadambini by Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. This book. Yeah. Thank you all very much. Vibija, Prabhu, I couldn't take your question. Next time. Thank you. जगत गुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय, ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय, समस्त गौर भक्त वृंद की जय, निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे, हरि हरि बोल. Thank you.